Hello everyone, welcome to my session on polymorphism. The agenda for today's topic is polymorphism, overloading, overriding, and an example to explain overloading and overriding. Now, uh, here I would be covering, in this session, I would be covering what is polymorphism, the real life examples. Then I would be explaining what's overloading, what's overriding, and I would be giving an example to explain where overloading and overriding is implemented in a program. So this is what we'll be covering today. So first, let me come to polymorphism. Polymorphism is existence in more than one form. That is, poly means many and morph means forms. So that is what is polymorphism. And the life cycle of a butterfly is an example of polymorphism. Just because in a butterfly in its life cycle, it has to transform into different forms from larva, pupa, caterpillar into a butterfly. So these are the different forms it has to cover in its life cycle. The same way, a woman has to play different roles in her life. That is, she plays the role of a daughter, then a sister, a wife, a mother, and a professional. So these are different roles that a woman plays in her life, and this is also a very good example of polymorphism, because here the same person doing different activities and different roles. So next we'll come to the programmatic implementation of overloading. Here, programmatically, polymorphism is implemented using overloading, which is compile time polymorphism. And overloading is something nothing but where the functions, they have the same function name but different functionalities. I'll be coming into it in detail. Now it is also implemented using overriding, which is runtime polymorphism. Overriding is nothing but the base class has got a function, and the same function is implemented in the subclass, and you can add on certain features into the same function. So reusability is being, we can see reusability over there. So I will come into it now. Next, first let us cover overloading. So let me come in depth about overloading. Overloading is nothing but, as I told you earlier, so same function names but different functionalities. So we can divide it into two. First is constructor overloading, and the second is function overloading. Now, before, what is constructor overloading? So before coming into overloading or constructor overloading, let me tell you first of all what is a constructor. Let me come to constructors. Now, constructor is something inside a class which has got the same name as of that of a class, and it is similar to a function, but it is not a function. It is used for assigning memory space to the variables, instance variables, and that is the object at the time of object creation. So that is what is a constructor's duties. So that is what is a constructor meant for. So now we can have one constructor or many constructors in a class, because the constructor's name is the same as that of a class. So we can see overloading over there, because same name but different functionalities. So if you have a default constructor, then the default constructor would assign space only for the instance variables, and the values would be assigned that if it is assigned, it will be assigned, otherwise it will be the default value. But then when we come to the other constructors with the parameters, we can see that the number of parameters would be different, the type of parameters would be different. So that is where we can see constructor overloading. Next we'll come to function overloading. In function overloading, here we have the same function name but different functionalities. So functionalities in the sense, the number of parameters would be different, and the type of parameters would be different, then the order of the parameters would be different, but then at the same time the functions also, the name, only the name would be the same but the functions would be different. They would be doing different functionalities. So this is what is function overloading. So we have constructor overloading and function overloading basically. Now next we'll come to overriding. Here in overriding, consider a parent. A parent gives parent class has got certain features, and the child classes will have the same features of the parent class. At the same time, we can add certain features into it. So this is what is overriding. So parent features, functions, parent classes functions can be overridden in the child class. That is what we are going to see here. Now I'll give you an example which is covering constructor overloading and function overriding. So I think I'll be able to give you a small idea about what is overloading and overriding through this example. Here, consider the class employee, string emp id, emp name, emp age, and double emp salary. So this is what these are the classes employee, and I have got the variables, string variables, and a double variable over here. Now public employee is the constructor. Here I am introducing you to something known as this. This is a keyword to specify or represent that particular class. It's an object of that particular class. So this dot emp id is the instance variables which I am referring to. Instance variable is nothing but those variables defined inside the class but outside the functions. Those variables are known as instance variables. And then so public employee will have this dot emp id, which is the values are being assigned to it. Then E001, this dot emp name equals Sharanya, this dot emp age equals 25, and this dot emp salary equals 30,000. This is the values that I've assigned to it. I've hard coded the values. Now I am I'll give you another constructor, that is public employee. The same constructors have to have the same name as sort of the class. So this is where I can find overloading in it. So inside that I have two parameters, that is string emp id and emp name. These two parameters are being assigned to it. Our values are being passed through it. So this dot emp id, here emp id is equal to emp id. Now this dot emp id, here the variable name of the instance parameters, that is those defined outside and those defined inside, that is the parameters the parameter of the constructors, they are the same names. So the compiler has to understand which is different, that is to which variable the value has to be assigned. So this makes it specific for the compiler to understand that it is the instance variable to which the parameter variables have to be assigned to. So this dot emp id is equal to emp id, this dot emp name equals emp name, this dot emp age equals 32, this dot emp salary equals 38,000. So this is what I have assigned over here. Now next I come to the third constructor, public employee, where I pass all the four parameters or four variables as parameters: string emp id, string emp name, string emp age, and double salary. Now this dot emp id equals emp id, this dot emp age name equals emp name, this dot emp age equals emp age, and this dot emp salary equals emp salary. So this is something which refers to that particular class's objects. So I think you're familiar with this now. Now we'll come to now here we have covered three constructors, and these here we are seeing the implementation of constructor overloading. Now public void get details, this is the only function written over here. Here system.out.println, I'm printing all the variables, that is emp id plus emp id, employee name plus emp name, employee age plus emp name, and employee salary plus emp salary. So all the four variables are printed over here. This is what is the function get details doing. And then please remember this function because we'll be seeing it in the next class also. Here now I'm continuing with the program. You can come to the next class, that is manager extends employee. Here the manager class extends the employee class. So string department, that is a class variable defined, and then public manager is the constructor. Here super is the another keyword. So we are getting familiarized to another keyword, super. Super is used to refer to the base class of this particular class. Here manager is the subclass and employee is the base class. So base class constructor is being called from the subclass constructor when I call super. Without parameters, so it will be calling the default constructor of the base class. And this the department is the variable to which I have assigned accounts. Now because manager is a subclass of employee. Employee can have a manager, and it's the manager of which department? Accounts department. Now public void get details, super dot get details, system dot out dot println employee department plus DEPT. Here again I'm using super to refer to the base class constructors function. So super dot get details will refer to the, that's what I told you, please remember the earlier function. The same function is overridden over here, and then we are reusing the function, because when I use super dot get details, the base class function is being used over here. Here the base class constructor is being used over here. So you don't have to write the code again and again. You can just reuse it by simply calling using the super keyword. Now system.out.println employee department is DEPT. So that is what we are doing over here. Now I'll come to the base class. Now in the end I have to call everything. So I'm creating another class, public class employee details. And since this is the construct class which contains the name of the, the main method. So I'll name this class, this program with employee details.java, because this is the employee details is the class. So we can see how I have named it. I have named it as employee details itself. So I've already told you earlier in my previous sessions that public static void main, the main method, the main method has got a class. It is that class's name that you have to name this with. Now we'll come to the main method, the parameters string array of args. Employee E equals new employee, employee E1 equals new employee of E002 Aparna, employee E2 equals new employee 003 Ashwin 25,000. So these are the parameters were there. So parameters need values. So values are being assigned when the object is created. So here E3 equals new manager. So again, E3 is the employee object, but it is the object of the manager. Okay, the subclass. So the base class object can be the object of a subclass also. Then system.out.println the details of the first employee, e.get details, system.out.println details of the second employee, e1.get details, then details of the third employee, e2.get details, then details of the manager, e3.get details. So again, so each and every time I call the get details, I'll get a different value. So I'll show you the output. I'm sure you wouldn't have got a complete idea about what the program is, but still you will get a small idea. You will better understand it when you do even more programs and attend the sessions. Now I'll come to the program, that is output. So I say cd java eg, the folder where I have saved it, and then in OCT I come to cd OCT, the folder, then java c employee details, that is compilation. I use java c employee details.java and java employee details. So when executed, details of the first employee. Here employee ID is E001, employee name is Sharanya, employee age is 25 and salary 30,000. That is what I have assigned over there. Now details of the second employee, E1, that is even I have used E1.get details. I get E002 Aparna 38,000. Details of the third employee, 003 Ashwin 25,000. And details of the manager, I get employee ID E001, employee name Sharanya, age 25, salary 30,000, employee department accounts. Here again, I have just used super keyword. I told you where I was just in the constructor, I had just simply used the super constructor. So I'd be calling the base class constructor when I use the super keyword. So the base class constructor, default constructor, that is Sharanya, the first one, that constructor would be called. And so the same details is repeated over here. And then the employee department is accounts that had passed. So the manager of the accounts department. So that's what I'm repeating again. You wouldn't have understood everything, but you would have just understood one thing. What is overloading, overriding, this and super. Just that is enough. Next you will get it when you do further programs. Next, last but not the least, if you have liked this session, please like, share and subscribe. Okay, then thanks for attending my session on polymorphism.